Hello and welcome to Up Front. I'm your host, Corey Williams, and this is the co-host, Tommy Hurst, and we're back. How you doing?
I'm good. But you know what? I'm a little warm in here today.
Oh, what's go? Oh! What are you doing?
Wait.
Perth Wildcats.
Wait, you're not allowed to say that, are you?
Oh!
You're not allowed to say that? What day is this? Is this day 3 or is this day 4? I'll tell you what, look. I know, shout out to Lockie, I know you're not allowed to talk about them, but I want to say that the Wildcats have really impressed, alright? And you can't talk about them, but I tell you what, Liam did a bit on you yesterday, which I thought was gold. I'm not going to do that, but I just want to say, if I had a hat right now, I'd throw it down and I'd tell you the Wildcats are contenders and I'm going to tell you why. But honestly, you're a bit speechless right now, aren't you? You're a bit speechless.
Wow.
I just want to say, I remember sitting here with you on the season finale last season talking about some of the free agent signings, right? And you were like, Sydney, Bogut, awesome. Brisbane, Glidden, Cadee, Hodgson, Vicona, Perth, done. They didn't know. And I sat here and I said to you, Nick Kay and Mitch Norton, don't overlook the impact those guys are going to have, right? Don't overlook that.
God.
And are we seeing that right now or are we seeing that right now? And I got to say, those guys are contenders. Whether you believe it or not, I don't care. I think everyone else out there knows that. And that's all I want to say about that. How are you doing?
I'm speechless, man. Like this.
Shout out to Dave for the jersey, by the way.
Wow. I can't even say anything about them or this. So all I can say is let's just move on. All right? So we're going to cover round 6 and 7. To be honest with you, I totally forgot about round 6 because round 7 was so action-packed and emotionally I'm drained from round 7. Mm-hmm. As we can see, you can see why. So I'm going to let TH tell us what happened in round 6.
Let's run through round 6 really quickly. Melbourne opened up the round over in New Zealand, beating the Breakers 108 to 101. Corey Webster led the way for the Breakers, but it was a combination of Boone Ware and DJ Kennedy that got it done for the champs over there, proving they can still win over there, and they closed it out late down the stretch. Yeah,
that was a great game. I remember Casper Ware was killing Josh Boone. Chris Golden hit the game winner, the dagger for the 3. DJ Kennedy was doing his thing, and it was a great team effort collectively.
Yep. Adelaide smashed Illawarra really at home, 104-79. Blanchfield was good for the Hawks, but not much else. They actually led at quarter time, 30-21 Illawarra did, and then it was all Adelaide after that. 4 Sixers had 16 points. Daniel Johnson, Wiley, Sobey and Drimmick, and your boy Majok Deng had 10 points in 10 minutes off the bench, showing signs of life.
Yeah, he's showing signs of life, but we need to see more. We demand more from you. Your coach and your teammates need more from you in order for you to, one, get more playing time and for that team to advance into the Final Four.
Agreed. Perth up in Cairns, and that one went a bit longer than it should have. Bryce Cotton fouling Mello Trimble for the 4-point play on the buzzer, but Perth ultimately got it done in OT.
I would just love to know, what was he thinking defending Mello like that and fouling him at the 3?
He was thinking.
Guess he just had a brain fart, and guess what?
As it was kicked in.
Oh, I can't even talk about them. Sorry. Go ahead.
We'll move on. we know about that one. I'll tell you one thing out of that game, though. It was great to see Devin Hall break out. He had 18 points, season high for him so far, and he got up 19 shots in that game, which is a really good sign. Starting to get some confidence in his own ability, because really they need him if they're going to start winning again.
Well, to be honest with you, he's been better coming off the bench for them. You know, he gets more touches because when he comes in, Melo's out, so at least he gets an opportunity to come off those screens, get busy one-on-one, hit those wide open 3. The ball gets to him more when Melo is out the game. That's just the reality of it. And by the time Melo gets back in the game, he's in some kind of form. He's flowing a little bit more. And I think that's why he's been able to shine coming off that bench.
Agreed. Melbourne came back home and took care of Brisbane, 102-94 in a high-scoring affair. Adam Gibson and Ruben Tarangi were really good for Brisbane, but it was Casper Ware again, 23 points, 6 dimes. Dave Barlow, 18, and CG, 43, which I think was his first game back, at 16 off the bench. Turnovers and fouls really played Brisbane down the stretch in that one.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of these games, Brisbane will always be good enough to be in a game. Mm-hmm. There's some games they're going to be able to lead in those games, but they're not good at closing games out. We saw this all last season. How many games were they up or in the game and just fumbled down the stretch? This is something that they have to get over if they're even thinking about trying to fight for that fourth spot. Mm-hmm. But Melbourne United did what they needed to do, win at home. Yep. Casper Ware had the backpack on again. Any issues, put the backpack on. Everybody just jump in. I got you. And he delivered.
Yeah, true. A good signs. Lamar Patterson getting up to speed with that team. He's making an impact, obviously much better in round 7 for them. But he acknowledged after that game that they got some things to correct, and hopefully they can continue to do that. They're a chance in top 4, Brisbane. I won't completely rule them out, but they obviously need to get a lot more consistent. Final game of round 6 was Sydney at home against New Zealand, and they took care of business pretty convincingly, 100-87. Sean Long and Patrick Richard pretty strong for the Breakers, but this one was about Randall and Bogut. Randall had 24 points, 5 boards and 5 dimes, and Andrew Bogut had arguably his best game of the season, 17 points, 10 boards, 7 dimes, and 5 blocks. Just absolutely controlling that game. And that was really good. That was without Kevin Lish. Carl Adnan was the starter in that one. Good signs for Sydney.
Definitely good signs for Sydney. Andrew Bogut, arguably on paper, that was his best game. But for me, that wasn't his best game. The best game was when he disrespected Ogilvy. That's the best game. Mm-hmm. Anyway, moving forward, round 7.
One more thing out of round 6, some news before we move on. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix were launched.
Yeah, how could we forget that?
Were launched. Great news. Shout out to Tommy Greer doing a fantastic job getting them up and running, and really exciting times for the league, for basketball in Melbourne's heartland especially. And one thing that I like, I was chatting with Dave Barlow briefly about this last week. The thing he's most excited about is the fact it's going to create more jobs for more players in the league. And that's only going to benefit everyone. There's a bunch of guys out there we know that are on the fringe of the league that don't have an opportunity because there aren't enough spots. This is going to create at least 8-9 more spots for some local talent as well. So it's only going to be good.
Well, I can tell you this: 8 or 9 of those spots, out of those 8 or 9 spots, 3 of them need to be going to Mitch Creek. Mm-hmm. Somehow you got to give him the bag, Tommy, and get him that money.
They're trying.
Nathan Sobey, he's a free agent. That boy's from a couple hours away from Melbourne. Mm-hmm. Warrnambool, I even know that. And go get big Matt Hodgson. Go get that big fella. He's on a 1-year deal, and he's playing like he has mouths to feed. Mm-hmm. This is a great time to snatch that guy up.
I agree.
Go get the other 6 guys from wherever you got to go get them.
Yep.
But those 3 guys need to be on that roster.
Yeah, 3 guys that have connections. Obviously, Hodges started out in Melbourne, played some time with Waverley as well in the Big V, and obviously Mitch and Sobey, both Victorian guys. So definitely something to target for. They also announced today a strategic partnership with the Hawthorn Football Club.
Oh my goodness.
That's just amazing. I mean, Tommy Greer again making moves, but I love the fact that they're trying to utilize systems, strategies, processes, things that can only benefit to them to run that organization in the most professional manner from day one. Your thoughts?
I mean, it's just incredible to hear a collaboration with AFL and NBL, especially with a new franchise. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited to see what's going to become of that. And nothing but the best of luck to you, Tommy, and welcome to the NBL Hawthorn.
Fantastic news. Fantastic news. All right, so round 7.
This jersey's killing me. I can't even lie, and I can't even say anything about it.
Round 7. Brisbane 104, Illawarra 85.
I mean, I don't know what to say about Illawarra. I really don't. I mean, I know what to say. I always say it every round, but, that backcourt, it's just not getting it done. A move has to be made or else you're going to keep getting the same result. Mm-hmm. That's just what's going to be. Once in a while, I'm sure they'll win a game. Yeah. However, you need consistency if you want to compete in this league. At least try to get to the top 4. Yeah. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, this is not working. Nothing new to me. Brisbane at home is a really tough team at home. Sometimes they drop those games down. They drop the ball in the 4th, but they're a tough team. especially at home. So with this result, playing against Illawarra, I expect nothing less.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the thing about the Illawarra Hawks imports as well, the three of them combined are shooting something woeful like 20 or 25% from three-point range. I mean, it just gives them no benefit in terms of spreading the floor. So if they're not attacking in transition, you know, it's really tough for that offense to click consistently. I did like Lamar Patterson in this game. 24 points, 5 and 5, making an impact. And Jason Kadee kind of broke out of his shooting slump a little bit. He hit 4 out of 8 from downtown. A good sign, something he needs, obviously, to see to happen. And then now he gets into this Boomers window.
You know, for me, if I want a player or a team that's unconfident and not in form at the moment, they could play any team in the NBL. I would want them to play against the Illawarra Hawks. First of all, you don't even have to play defense if you're a guard. Just back up. And this is me talking. Just back up, pick them up at the free throw line, and let them shoot.
Yeah.
Because they can't shoot. Not consistently. They can't even shoot a mid-range consistently. I say, just zone them. Just zone Illawarra. You're going to win. Next team.
New Zealand at home against Perth. The first of those two games. It was a tough round for the Breakers, you know, really. On Friday, they lost that one at home in overtime after a big fourth quarter comeback. 6 players in double digits, but ultimately it wasn't enough, and Perth came through with that one.
I can't talk about that team, so you just keep going.
One thing I want to say about that team, though, not to harp on it, but no, honestly, we hear the phrase Wildcats basketball bouncing around a lot, right? And it's become a bit of a cliche. But to me, the difference, and this showed in both these games this weekend, between Wildcats basketball and where the Breakers are at now, is that culture of togetherness and self-belief when a game gets tough, and never giving up and grit and grind. And the Breakers, with all their new personnel this season and the changes they made, they've lost Mika Bacona, Kirk Penny, guys like that, they're just not there yet, and that's why we're seeing them struggling late in games. We saw that against Melbourne in round 6, late in that game over there, and we saw it twice this weekend, obviously, against the team you can't talk about. I think that's something that the Breakers need to obviously build. It's going to take some time, but there's something to be said about Wildcats basketball. Anyway, we'll move on. I know it pains you. I apologise. Adelaide takes care of Cairns 109-95. Your thoughts?
Adelaide did what they needed to do, win at home. Melo Trimble is a problem. I believe this kid, this young man, has NBA written all over him. He can score from all over the court. This is his second year playing professional ball. Defensively, he has to tighten up a little bit more, but offensively, he's giving you buckets all over the court. I haven't watched him play live yet. That was my first game. I've seen bits and pieces and highlights of him, but to watch him play, that man got game. Just very unfortunate it hasn't transferred into the W's, but it ain't his fault. Number 1 in scoring and number 2 in assists. Yeah. He's doing his job.
Agreed.
Everybody else got to lift.
Agreed. How about Jacob Wiley in that game?
Woo!
Nuts.
Yeah, he went crazy.
He went absolutely nuts.
He went ham. I love him. He plays the game with such emotion. I think he fits perfectly. Joey Wright did a great job recruiting this guy because he fits their style of play to a T.
Yeah, agreed. And Conger obviously getting up to speed with that team, had some nice contributions off the bench too. Adelaide with some good signs in that one. Obviously it didn't carry through, but some good signs. Melbourne against Sydney, the game of the round ultimately. Well, we thought it was anyway, and it pretty much was.
Thank you.
Pretty much was.
I thought you was about to really get beside yourself.
Well, the team you can't talk about was involved in 2 pretty good games over the weekend too, but sure. Melbourne, Sydney, you were there. You were sitting courtside, living large. By the way, how about that get-up you were wearing? Did everyone see those shoes he was wearing? The shades, the leather jacket? Man, he was living large courtside.
Let me tell you, one thing about what we do in America is you have 2 huge teams playing against each other, okay? My pick for both of these teams in the grand final, Sydney Kings versus Melbourne, okay? The United. It's showtime when these 2 teams come up. There's stars on the court. There needs to be stars courtside. That's just what it is. You know, Melbourne is a sexy, beautiful city. You know, a lot of sport capital of Australia. So on the sidelines, it needs to match that, especially when it comes to a big game like this. If you go to Sydney, that first row got to be right. So me on my day off, I already knew You got to come in there correct. And correct I did. Anyway,
he did.
What a game.
That was awesome, that game.
Oh, my goodness. It went down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jerome Randall, 35 points. He shot 68% from the clip. His nemesis. And he was talking shit, too.
He was.
Casper Webb had about 25, 24, something like that.
25, I think it was, yeah.
Either way, that game, that matchup was worth the price of admission itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the way those two went at it, the way it finished. I mean, Mitch McCarron, this guy just makes plays, right? How impressive has he been? There were a lot of concerns about how he fit into this team. He doesn't need to fit in. He just plays ball.
And that's what's awesome about money-making Mitch McCarron. He just plays ball. This is a guy, this is an asset on any team he joins.
Yep.
He went to Kansas last year. I know the year before, he was in Kansas. But as far as my eyes are concerned, for what I've seen, he was in Kansas, he was doing this thing. Stat filler. One of the biggest rebounders at the guard slot we have in this league. Amazing. None bigger than that Tappan he got because Kevin Lish didn't box out.
Correct.
But he's an asset. You know, he did well in Kansas, went over and played with a team in Slovenia, won the championship over there, showed that he could play at a Division I level and contribute the right way and win, which is very impressive. I know that team wanted to keep him, as well as other teams, but Melbourne United, and I believe that is one of the biggest signings that they had this offseason, bringing in Mitch McCarron. Comes in, CG43 goes down, no problem. I'm just going to do what I do anyway. Before I would do it off the bench, now I'm going to do it in the lineup with United, and he's delivered big.
I agree. I mean, you plug him in at any spot, the 1, the 2, the 3. He doesn't care where he plays. He doesn't
just
care
play ball.
if he starts, if he comes off the bench. He just finds ways to make plays and make the right plays. And as you said, none bigger than that, the way that one ended. Fantastic. Illawarra, 120, Adelaide, 109. This one got fiery. This one got chippy.
Okay, let me ask you something, all right? What game, in a 40-minute game, a team shoots 50 free throws?
Yeah.
Come on, man. 50? That has to be a world record. Guinness Book of World Record. It has to be. Come on. I didn't even watch the game. I was busy focusing on the job that I had to do in WA versus that team.
Right.
So you got it, man. I didn't watch it. I just, you know.
No, you're right. I mean, look, there were we've talked, I mean, this week's about, there were way too many fouls called in this game. They let things get out of hand. The Wiley ejection was obviously, has now been proven to be, or been admitted to be wrong. But I think that kind of rattled Adelaide at that point in time, the way that he was thrown out of that game, and they just never recovered. But how do you give up 120 points to Illawarra?
50 free throws.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, I did like Demetrius Conga, 22 points, and your boy Majok Deng again, 14 points in 13 minutes. Again, just building, and hopefully he will be there at the business end of the season like he was last year, because he gives that team another dimension.
Definitely. When he comes in and he does what he needs to do, which he doesn't need to do a lot, just come in, get about 10, 12, 14 points. 10 to 14 points is what they need from him, and he's able to do that. He can shoot the three, has a nice mid-range shot, you know, get a couple of tip-ins. That's 14 points. And with the way Adelaide plays, you can get that quick. As you see, he's been getting that with a little bit of minutes. So hopefully he's getting his mind right and getting it together. But it's good to see him ticking over on the scoreboard.
Absolutely. And then the last game of the round was New Zealand over in Perth. Obviously, New Zealand well in control of that game, even in the fourth quarter. Ultimately, the team you can't speak about came back and stole another game they probably shouldn't have stolen. Can I ask you some yes and no questions? Is that allowed?
I think you can.
All right. Did you expect this team to win that game?
No.
Were you impressed with how they fought back?
Yes.
Is Nick Kay the best power forward in the league right now?
Yes.
Is Mitch Norton's impact unexpected to you?
Yes.
Does he deserve to start when Damian Martin comes back?
No.
All right. Are they?
No.
Are
No.
they a contender?
No. No.
All right. But they're a lock for the top four?
Definitely a lock.
All right. I think they'll take that from you at the moment. Anyway, we'll move on. So that was round 7. If we look at the ladder right now, obviously that team sitting on top. It could be tied between them and Melbourne, obviously. Sydney's in 3rd, 5-4, and Brisbane's sitting in 4th at 5-6, just ahead of Adelaide there. What are your thoughts on whether Brisbane can sustain a top 4 spot?
That's not happening.
Not happening?
Definitely not happening.
So you got Adelaide and New Zealand getting in there.
I got New Zealand. New Zealand 4th.
Okay.
Perth. I put up a chart the other day, and I was being rushed because Guy was rushing me and I was handling business. So I just gave him any 4.
Yeah.
But I believe the order will be like Melbourne 1st, that team 2nd, Sydney 3rd, New Zealand 4th.
Right. And you got Sydney beating that team
100%.
in the first round.
Yep.
All right. I'm undecided between Adelaide and New Zealand right now, to be honest. I expected more out of New Zealand to this point in the season, and they haven't really shown an ability to get stops consistently, and that's cost them. And the fact that they're losing all these games in the dying minutes of the 4th quarter is a worry to me, as I was mentioning before. They need to find a way to get a little bit mentally stronger to be able to close out those games.
Here's what they should do. I'm gonna cut that 2 guard and bring in a point guard. I'm sitting Shea Elliott. He hasn't been consistent all year. If you're trying to win, I would go with that. Shea Elliott, I ain't got no time for that. I don't care what happened last year. You ain't doing shit.
So did they call up your boy Edgar Sosa and try and get him back?
Nah, Edgar Sosa in France doing pretty good, but you need a guard that can, at the end of the day, you need a guard that's going to be decisive and make plays happen. Jared Weeks, legit backup.
Yep.
I'm going to go get me an import guard, cut the other guy, because I could replace him. And let's work. That's what I'm going to do.
It's not a bad thought. It's not a bad thought. All right, we got the FIBA window break, obviously, this weekend. Late change to the Boomers team. Nate Jawai gets a call-up for the first time since the 2015 Olympic qualifying, replacing an injured Angus Brandt. Your thoughts on Jawai?
I think Jawai, honestly, this year he looks really good. He's produced when they've given him the ball, and he's been productive. You know, that's a good one. You know, obviously Angus Brandt is out. He's not fully fit. Well, not fit, but he's not fully healthy. That ankle's bothering him, and I think that's a good replacement right now.
Yeah, I agree. It's great to see Nate back and engaged and aggressive. Obviously, he's still getting his fitness 100% right because he was hampered by that foot all off season. But some good signs there, and I love that he's getting another opportunity. I love the way Lamanis does that. He rewards guys, whether it's a game here or a game there or whatever. They may not be in the team consistently, but they get chances. And another guy who's getting a chance this weekend is Craig Moller, who is really an unbelievable story when you think about the fact that a few years ago, he was a backup ruckman at the Fremantle Dockers in AFL. Played 1 game of AFL, and 3 years later, he's wearing the green and gold.
That is awesome. You know, he went from basketball, then to footy, and now he's a champion. Melbourne United, left there, went down to Hobart, and the Seagull won another championship, and now put on the green and gold. That is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah, it is.
And the other guy included in the team again this time for the first time since the 2012 Olympics is DB, Dave Barlow, who just played his 250th. You know, and you got to respect the way everything he's done in his career. You got to respect, but the way he's gone about it this year, finally healthy again, and just really grabbed hold of that 4-spot role for Melbourne and gave them another dimension they probably weren't expecting.
They definitely were not expecting that because he averaged like 3 and 2 last year.
Yeah.
Right now he's averaging about 15 and 5. That is awesome. I think throughout his whole career, he would even say right now he would be probably most proud out of his whole career about how he's playing and the level he's playing at. Because at his age, who's moving the way he's moving?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And on top of that, who's putting up numbers at his age? That's what's more impressive. So nothing but respect to that man.
And you think about the fact that they lost Ty Wesley, there were a lot of question marks about that. Barlow's given them pretty much exactly what Wesley's giving New Zealand this year. And then you add Mitch McCarron to that team as well. I mean, it's hard to go past Melbourne as the favourites to repeat this season. I know that's your view. I think that's my view right now from what we've seen in terms of the schedule they've played so far, the way they've gone about it, the way they're grinding out wins. Really impressive, really impressive. Just before we finish up, who's your pick right now for MVP? Can't say.
Can't say, but you know who it is.
All right, BC. I don't disagree. He's been unbelievable. He's carried that team. Fair enough. Who's your pick for Defensive Player of the Year?
Bogut.
Agreed. And Sixth Man of the Year? Patrick Rashad from New Zealand.
Yeah.
I like the way he's going about it too. If Moneymaker Mitch keeps coming off the bench now, they'll change on the weekend behind Golding. It'll be interesting to see if he's eligible for that award. But,
yeah, so how does that go? Like, okay, if you're six man, were you six man the whole year? Or if you go into the lineup a couple of times because of injury, you're not six man anymore?
I'm not sure if it goes by the majority of games you've played or there's a certain percentage, but we can check that out. But I think in the NBA it goes by kind of a percentage of games that you've started or obviously come off the bench. But that's an interesting one, yeah. So that's it. So we've got Boomers taking on Iran this week.
Oh, no. Who's the most improved player? Now, what's the criteria? Okay, because I'm looking at a guy that averaged probably like 7 points and like 4 rebounds, and now he's technically arguably, the best power forward in the game. He played about 5 years in the league already. So can you be most improved if you have 5 years in?
I mean, you can, but they generally try and give it to an up-and-coming young player. Because you can make the same case for Dave Barlow this year, right?
True.
If you think about it. But they're never going to give it to him.
Nah.
But you're right. The player you're talking about, Nick Kay, for those wondering, he's having an unbelievable season. The impact he's having is a double-double machine. And he would be a potential candidate for that. He's a lock for all NBL. There's no question about that. I think the guy that's probably the front runner for sixth man at the moment is for most improved is Ruben Tarangi up in Brisbane, because he's finally put it all together. He's delivering consistently and really making an impact for that team.
Yeah, he has. I like the way he goes about his business. He plays like it. I just love the fact when guys play hard on both ends of the court, every game, the whole game, because you can miss shots all day, but the effort, I respect the effort, and he brings the effort every time he touches the floor. That's why I respect him.
One other guy I think is an outside chance of that is Anthony Drimmick down in Adelaide.
Drimmick is balling too, and he brings the effort too. And he just got back on the good winning shooting streak.
Yeah.
You know, he started hitting threes from outside. None other than like the three threes in a row he hit in cans that broke that game open to about 19. Yeah. And you know, he felt good. You know, before that, the game before that, when they beat Illawarra, I spoke to him and interviewed him, and he was like, "Man, I've been playing like shit, you know." So I just kept being aggressive, and you know, the shots finally fell.
Yeah. He's having
good on him.
He's having a great season. So that's really good. So the Boomers have got Iran and Qatar. Qatar, I don't expect much from. Iran's actually been tough through this Asian qualifying period, but they're without most of their best players. Hamed Haddadi, who's their big center, is a former Memphis Grizzly, and Arslan Kazemi are not playing. So you spoke about it last night. I think that the Boomers are going to cream them, and I think you're probably right. But be interesting to see, and it's always fun to see the green and gold out there anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's about it until round 8 kicks off next Thursday night. Anything else you want to cover?
No, that's it. I'm happy. Laurie, we miss you.
Indeed.
You know, I'll get better, and we'll see you soon.
And I'll take this jersey off now.
Oh, please take the jersey off. I'm Corey. This is TH, Tommy Hirsch. This is Up Front. Peace.